Hi, it's Dr. Hillary. It's day 3. I call this sleepy time. A lot of patients ask me about sleeping or they discuss sleeping with me, so I'm very familiar with it. Plus, I like to sleep, so I'm kind of good at this. I did put in the notes that I looked up a study from Harvard from their division of sleep medicine. I found a lot of it very fascinating. But the little things they mentioned that we know, hey, sleep helps with memory, mood, motivation, judgment. I mean, those are kind of things that we knew. What I found interesting in the article is it talked about reasons why we had to sleep and why as humans we sleep. And I found that interesting. I never stopped to think about that. One of them is they called it an energy conservation theory. So essentially we're conserving our energy at night as we sleep. I assume back in the day when we were cavemen, women, that we were hunting and gathering and we were using a lot of energy throughout the day. And the second one they said was evolution for survival and hunting, which I think kind of goes wrong with the energy conservation. The third one is it restores the body and repairs. And for me as a chiropractor, that was the one I loved the most reading about because it does. You actually heal a lot at night when you're sleeping. So that's why we need to get the good sleep. And pretty much all the patients that I see are, they have a lot of inflammation in their body. And that's when we need to heal and let our body rest. So we need that time. And if you're in pain, your body, you notice you're already tired anyways, just listen to your body. Take the naps. Get longer sleep than normal. And then a brain plasticity theory. So it's talking about development in the brain and what goes on at night when we're sleeping and how that helps. So essentially, I feel like if we want to be smarter, we should sleep more. That's kind of what I took out of it. So I was also thinking about that for kids too, making sure that they get enough sleep so their brain develops everything correctly. I mean, kids already generally sleep more, but if your kids are like mine, they try to get out of it and they try to stay later. And I'll just tell them that, hey, the scientists at Harvard said you need your sleep. And I'm sure that they'll listen and not argue with me about that. So most of the studies suggested roughly 8 hours. Some people say 7. Some people say it just depends on the person. I don't know. Like, let's just say you only get 6. Why don't you try for 7 now? Just increase it a little bit. So what can you do to get those hours? Do you deal with kids at night waking you up? I know I have a lot of women that have little babies and they're waking them up at night and I say, hey, can't you trade off with your spouse? I mean, can someone else get up like one night or every other night or something like that? And what could you do that way everyone can get some good nights of sleep? And there's obviously no point for both spouses getting woken up at the same time every night. A lot of research shows like the dark room, the lower temperature, the blankets, the no screen time, the no blue light time. So that'd be like no TVs, no iPads, no phone before you go to bed, things like that. And I don't know how many of us actually try not to use screen time before bed. I think it's hard. I'm constantly checking my emails and social media, and a lot of it's for work, but I still don't need to do it at night. So think about that. Getting adjusted regularly by your chiropractor definitely helps sleep. In fact, that's one thing people tell me about. They go, hey, I didn't tell you this, but I sleep really good now. And I'm like, yeah, don't we all? And no, I never used to sleep all night. I used to wake up all the time. And now that I come to see you, I can sleep all night. It's so crazy. I feel so good in the morning. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that happens all the time. I call that the good side effect, instead of all those warning side effects of drugs, let's talk about the good side effects of chiropractic. You can get your good sleep. You can get into your REM cycle that we all know we need to get into, the deep sleep. So another thing that helps me sleep at night is I use CBD oil. And feel free to contact me if you want more detail about that. But that definitely helps me turn off. I think of it as turning off my brain because it's going a mile a minute. I mean, it's so fast at night, thinking about everything today, what I need to do tomorrow, what I didn't do. I mean, things for the future. So that really helps me turn off. It doesn't, quote, make me sleepy, because I could take it hours before I go to bed, but it definitely calms me down. That's why it's also great for people with anxiety. It calms us down a little bit. It slows the processing down a little bit. And not slow where you think like, oh, I can't function or I wouldn't be able to drive. It's not like that. There's no crazy psychological THC stuff in it. It's just like an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. So anyways, contact me if you have any questions about that. We do sell that in the office, and I've been using it for years. There's a lot of great brands out there. I can show you what I have, but in the end, that's something definitely to look forward to. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great sleep.